In a quiet mountain town in Northern California, tucked between redwood forests and winding back roads, lived a dog named Shadow. No one knew exactly where he came from. Some said he was abandoned on the edge of the woods, others said he wandered into town during a storm. But what everyone agreed on was this: Shadow was no ordinary dog. He was found as a pup by a young firefighter named Maria. She spotted him by the roadside during a routine patrol, wet, shivering and hungry. She took him home that night, fed him and gave him a name, Shadow. He followed her everywhere after that, from the fire station to the grocery store to town parades. He became the town's unofficial mascot. Kids patted his head on their way to school. Elderly folks left bones by their porches. Shadow belonged to everyone, but he only had eyes for Maria. Years passed. Shadow grew into a strong, alert dog, quiet but intensely aware of his surroundings. He never barked without cause. He never chased cars or cats. It was as if he understood the responsibility he carried, a silent guardian, always watching. Then came the summer of the fire. It had been one of the driest seasons in decades. Wildfires had already devastated nearby counties. Maria and her crew had been deployed miles away to help other towns under threat. Shadow stayed behind, resting at the firehouse, keeping watch over the empty trucks and sleeping town. On a warm August night, lightning struck the ridge just beyond the town's border. A tree exploded into flames. The wind carried embers down the slope. No alarms sounded. No evacuation notice came. Most of the town was asleep, unaware of the danger creeping toward their homes. But Shadow knew. He smelled the smoke before it was visible. He felt the heat before anyone else stirred. By the time flames flickered on the horizon, Shadow was already moving. He scratched at the firehouse door until it cracked open, then sprinted into the night. He howled outside houses, pawed at porches, barked with everything he had. Some ignored him at first, just a dog making noise, they thought. But Shadow didn't stop. He ran from home to home, barking, spinning in frantic circles, refusing to be ignored. Someone opened a window and smelled the smoke. Another stepped outside and saw the glow behind the trees. Then panic set in. Families grabbed what they could and began fleeing. Calls were made. A few local volunteers jumped in trucks. But through it all, Shadow kept moving, waking the elderly couple on the hill, leading a boy and his baby sister down a safe trail, circling back to check on houses he'd already passed. He didn't stop, not for fear, not for flames. By the time Maria and her crew arrived, the fire had reached the edge of town, but most of the neighborhood was already gone, saved, because one dog had sounded the alarm when no one else could. Maria found Shadow collapsed near the firehouse steps, singed and shaking, his breath shallow but his eyes still watching. She dropped to her knees, cradled his head in her lap and whispered through tears, "You saved them, boy. You saved them all." Shadow survived that night. He spent weeks recovering, and the town never let him forget what he'd done. He was awarded a medal by the state fire chief. A mural of him was painted on the station wall. Shadow, standing proud, flames behind him, eyes locked on the horizon. And every year on August 18th, the town holds a celebration Shadow Day. To honor the dog who didn't need words to speak, who didn't need orders to act, who saw danger coming, and chose to save lives instead of run. Shadow didn't just guard a town, he became its hero. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video to honor Shadow's bravery, comment below with your favorite animal hero or personal dog story, share this story to inspire someone else, and subscribe for more unforgettable, emotional, true stories like this one. Because sometimes the quietest heroes leave the loudest legacy.